Chen Yan Qi, right? Can you read? Chen Yan Qi? She's a graphic designer. And she's about to embark on a trip traveling 19,658 kilometers over 450 days. And she will be actually in China, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. And the trip estimated to end in July, August this year. Solo, on a bamboo bike. Amazing girl. She's Chinese. She's from Hong Kong. And you think Hong Kong people don't do crazy things? She does crazy things. And when I saw this thing, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, I was so impressed and touched. I said, I gotta cut it and show it to you guys. In a way, this is what Small Talk Circle is all about. It's not about academics. Matter of fact, we just talk about it outside. We don't want you guys to spend too much time on textbooks and do some crazy things out there. I call it crazy. I call it extraordinary. But your professor would use that word, what? Innovative. Or, British would call it, how to pronounce the word innovative in British? Innovative. Okay. But anyway, so being innovative, being crazy, being extraordinary is good. And I always, encourage young people to think outside of the box. I was going to use the phrase, jump outside the window. But that's not a phrase to use these 2 weeks, right? Because we know that a lot of kids actually committed suicide on jumping off the window. So that's not the phrase to use. It's politically incorrect to use that. So just say think out of the box instead of jumping off the window. And do things like this. Okay? Now Justin, my son is going to be he's the speaker tonight, right? Guest speaker, I'm only the moderator. And he will talk about change and disruption. I understand, But change and disruption in a positive way, not a negative way, positive. I don't know what he's going to talk about, I don't want to preempt him. So, but before we do that, before we bring Justin on, I want to say one more thing and introduce some of the anchors tonight. I cannot possibly introduce them all, about 10, 12 of them. But these people, very important, busy people, we're bankers, lawyers, computer experts, company executive, corporate executives. They give up the evening. They give up the evening engagements and be with us tonight. So we should really thank them, okay, for coming here tonight to be with us. Let's give them a big hand and a big round of applause. Big round of applause for all the super angels coming out tonight. And more angels coming down. Come on. And here comes Justin's whole family. Justin's wife just walked in. And Cynthia's boss just walked in. Hi, Sudesh. Welcome. And my wife is here. Okay. And my daughter, Andrew, and her son is here. The little Miles is 10 months old. And also our son-in-law, Clarence, is here too. As well as the keeper, right? So welcome, everybody. Okay, so you didn't miss anything. I just did my 10-minute kicker, and Justin's going to come on and tell us about what he's going to talk about tonight. Now, for those kids who didn't come tonight, they're hitting the books, studying hard for the exams. Let them ace all the courses. Let them ace all the subjects. But you guys will ace all the job interviews. Yes. Okay? By being here tonight, because Justin's going to tell you about what's hot out there in the job market, do's and don'ts and all that. Okay. So, what do you think? Is it important to get an A in calculus or get an A in life? Job interview, we actually start on your life. And I think that's actually quite important. And so you guys are here. And congratulations, you come to the right place. Okay, Justin Leung, my dear son.
By profession, I am a recruiter. I'm a headhunter, and I work for an Australian firm called Ambition. We may have spoken to a number of you. I didn't realize it's exam week here in Hong Kong, but you guys are either really prepared or I'm worried for you guys. That'd be a great time.
You're right.
I'm going to start by, I guess, a quick introduction. This is our daughter, Juliet. She's 6 months old. I'm very tired because of her. My wife is here. I need to thank my wife, Cynthia, sitting in the back for really being an awesome mom. And Mother's Day is coming up, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
She's balancing a ball here on her head. This is her special trick. This was taken yesterday. So a little bit of myself. I grew up in Hong Kong, was raised in Hong Kong, but I've lived in Canada for about 10 years. Studied there, worked there for a little bit, and I came back to Hong Kong in 2005 in pursuit of my career. This is my team now at Ambition, part of my team. We're an Australian firm, and we've been in Hong Kong for over 15 years now. The areas that we cover include banking, financial services. My teams recruit outside of banking, so if you want a job in financial services banking, I'm sorry, I can't really help you. But there's still a lot of opportunities, obviously, on the commerce and industry side. So this is my team. I've been recruiting for the last 9 years in Hong Kong, and I had a short stint in Guangzhou as well. It's a very different market. But what I really want to talk about and share with you is a little bit of what I see in my day-to-day work. As you can imagine, I speak to clients and candidates on a day-to-day basis. I touch on a lot of different industries. And the sort of the buzzword that I hear a lot these days is change and also disruption. Change is a big topic right now because we live in a very complex world. Whether a business is selling a service or a product, consumers and end users are very well informed and very well educated, basically very demanding. Yeah? So companies need to be very innovative in looking at what they can change, how they can improve the products and services to attract the end customers. Now, while large companies, Fortune 500, they're very successful, obviously, but the downside of them is they are not nimble enough to usually go for a big change. Yeah? There is a huge resistance to change because of the risks that they need to get involved in. And I have the pleasure of working with much smaller businesses these days, especially over the last 12 to 18 months, where there are startups, and there are a fair share of startups in Hong Kong, which is really refreshing. And also startups from elsewhere that I have the pleasure of working with. And these are very interesting companies. They're nimble, they're agile, they're able to respond to the changes in the market, and it's just a pleasure working and recruiting for them. I want to show you guys a video. This video was created when you guys, probably most of you are very, very young, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen it.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Who's seen this before? By Apple? Perfect. So be the crazy ones, right? As my dad said earlier. And status quo is meant to be broken. I think as you guys enter the working professional world, when you find a job, when you enter this world, you're going to be facing even bigger challenges. So the ability for you guys to be innovative and change is very, very critical. You guys will shape what our future will look like. Okay. The founder of Ambition, Paul Lyons, he mentioned to me recently the changes in the last 2 years combined have been greater than the last 28 altogether combined. He's been recruiting for 30 years. And it is a fact. And this is not just a recruitment business. Every business out there is facing the same thing. But how does that relate to you guys, right? You're going to school right now, going through the university program. I think a lot of you can think about change individually for yourselves. You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to be working to start change. You can think more about what you can do to the community and what sort of changes that you can do individually to make this world change. So I think change is something that, and disruption is something that is always being talked about. It is definitely something I hear every day. So I do encourage you guys to think more about how you can change and what role you play in the community, right, in the society. As my dad said earlier, do you want to be an A student? You obviously want to, but you also want to ace it in life. So that's some food for thought and hopefully help you guys think a little bit. Now, talking about disruption, these are companies that you already know. There are companies that change to cope, but these are companies that change and became game changers in their industry. Yeah? LinkedIn came in a few years ago and really disrupted my industry. Now I cannot go a day without using LinkedIn. Yeah? It is a fantastic tool, but it is also a threat to us as recruiters. Apple, when the first iPhone came out, 2007, it changed the mobile industry and telecommunications industry altogether. So I'm not going to go through every one of these companies, but you know them quite well. So that's change. I want to switch topic here and talk a little bit about the Hong Kong job market. Who here is in their final year? A few of you? Yeah. But I'm sure inevitably you guys will be looking for a job, right, at some point in the future. So what is the Hong Kong job market like this year? It's going strong. It's very active. Now I will say that it is a little bit more softer or a little bit more sluggish compared to the few years prior. I think the reason is when we look at China economy, it is slowing down. Hong Kong is very driven by financial services and also property, both of which are a little bit softer than the years before. So these sort of emotional factors are affecting people's decisions to hire. Businesses hire, and these are human beings who are making decisions every day. So they're impacted by, inevitably, these market conditions. So while it is a little bit softer, we still see it as a very promising market. There are pockets of areas that are quite vibrant. The startup scene, as I mentioned earlier. Now, startup doesn't always have to be startup from ground up. There are very established brands from other countries looking to come into Asia. Those are very interesting businesses as well. Yeah. Digital marketing, yeah, is a very hot area right now. Anything related to digital and e-commerce is absolutely growing. I spoke with a company today. It's a fashion brand from Thailand. Some of you may already know who I'm talking about. They're about to launch their first online store in New York. That is a global store, obviously, and it's coming up. And they're looking to hire a lot of people in Asia for the e-commerce business. And that's going to impact digital marketing, e-commerce, even the supply chain side. So where companies are huge, those Fortune 500, they're bigger, it's a little bit more challenging for those big guys. There's still plenty of opportunities in the market right now for people to look at. Interview skills. Anyone interested in knowing how to score, how to ace an interview? Yes? What's been the most challenging thing, would you say, in an interview? What is your biggest, fear or challenge or any questions that you guys have? I'm happy to answer that. Anyone want to ask?
Because sometimes they ask, tell me, what you're really good at? Tell me, what is your excellence?
Sure, what is your strength?
Yeah.
Right?
Not strength. Strength you can say, I like communication, I have degree, I have lived abroad, I have international experience. But they say, tell me the area that is you're like excellent at, like the most skilled at.
Sure. And you want to stand out, right? You want to give them an answer that's different, right? That's a good question. I'm going to collect a few more before I go ahead and answer them. Any other challenges that you typically face in an interview setting?
Other offers and what's your higher?
What's your first one, Anne? What are there other offers?
Yeah,
on hand?
you had other offers and what's your should I tell you I have another offer and you're not my priority?
You know, that's a great question. If they ask you that, usually that means they're very interested in you.
Yeah, I know, and then you say yes, but then later on you reject their job. So it's like, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's about expectation management. So our job as recruiters is always to steer the process in the right way so that there are no surprises. Every day we do things to eliminate surprises. So when you reject the company in the end, when they're not expecting you to, that's an element of surprise. Yeah. So that's another good question. Anyone get asked what your strengths and weaknesses are? Yeah, you get that asked all the time. I'm going to show you guys another quick video just to, hopefully some of you guys have seen this before. Has any of you seen this before? No? Good.
What's your management style?
Passionate.
Passionate.
Passion.
And what's your biggest weakness?
Being stubborn. Stubborn.
Stubborn, I think.
It's funny, huh? That is disruption to our industry. And I believe this is a real case that actually happened to Heineken. And I think that guy just signed a life contract with Heineken. I don't think he's allowed to leave ever. But this is really a very inspiring story, something that's very innovative, taking something that's been going for a while, job interview, something that can be quite boring, and applying some marketing twists and promotional twist to it, and changing it into something that's really fun. And again, the applicants went up 300% And it's something that really works. I think we're all looking for that, something that's different, that's going to happen to every one of us. So that's why I'm always talking about change and disruption, because of exactly this reason. So every one of you will have the change in front of you. So think more about that. But to go back to the interview situation, right? What is your strength? Passion. I'm passionate. It's always the same kind of answers. You want to be different. But I think after having gone through maybe thousands of interviews in my last decade of being a recruiter, there's so many tips I can give, but if I really were to summarize to a few points, you gotta enjoy the process. It is obviously very nerve-wracking, but you just gotta smile and enjoy interviews, okay? Try to control your nervous, I know that, but really bring your smile to the interview room. I've seen so many candidates who's just so nervous that they just don't smile. Interview is about a human-to-human interaction. You're trying to get the other person to like you, right? Everyone's qualified. You go to the same, well, not same university. You all have degrees, master's degrees, MBAs. What sets you apart is that personal element. So if you're able to bring a smile, you have no idea how much a smile actually impacts the whole atmosphere and dynamic. So this is from thousands of interviews. I can tell you the fact that you can smile, you're able to remind yourself and force a smile out, it makes a huge difference. The second thing is really to be yourself. Yeah, I know it sounds obvious, but you need to be able to back yourself up with the answers that you give. You're passionate, but are you really, right? When you're asked a question, just say what's on top of your mind. Yeah, you can't pretend to be who you aren't. If you really do that and get through the interview process, when you imagine when you start work and you're really not who you were in an interview, it's gonna come through. Yeah? So it's really important to be who you are. If the company doesn't like who you are, then it's a loss, right? You gotta be yourself. Final thought is to obviously be prepared. Yeah? I've had a situation before, this was back when I was working for my first recruitment company, Michael Page. I was in Guangzhou hiring for my team. I met a candidate with my boss and managing director, 8 in the morning at a hotel coffee shop. So we're asking this guy, Johnny, why do you want to work for Michael Page? We're a recruitment business, right? Johnny's like, I've always wanted to work for an investment bank. I looked at my boss, just to see how he would react. So my boss said, Johnny, go home, research what we do, and give me a call back. So surely, half an hour later, my boss' cell phone rings. Hey Anthony, this is Johnny. You know what? I really want to work for a recruitment company. Can you meet me again? It's a true story. So I cannot emphasize enough, you need to be prepared. We hired him, by the way, in the end. But not for long. I think he left after a little while. But again, really, you need to know who you're meeting. You need to know the company. You need to research. I won't take too much of your time, but very happy to chat with all of you. We've got some really good anchors tonight, so enjoy the evening, and thanks. Thank you.
Justin, thank you. Well, I hope you guys enjoy, what, hi, Ed, sitting at the back, you just came in, thank you. I always say that you can get an A, you can get A in all subjects that you want, but you also really want to think about, why you want to get an A. If you want to get an A just for the sake of getting an A in the subject, forget it. You won't be successful in your life, in your career. So while you guys right now writing exams, burning the candles at both ends and burning the midnight oil, I want you to put down your textbook for a little bit and think about why you're studying, okay? Next 5-10 years, what are you going to be after you graduate and land your entry-level job? You're going to move up corporate ladder. One day you want to sit in the corner office, being the managing director of the company. So it's a long way, right, isn't it? But some people in Hong Kong, as I talk to them, students, they really think that 4 years of university is the end all and be all. But you guys, live to be 100 and over, trust me. So 4 years, versus 100 years, which is more important? So it's obviously, you know, your life after campus is most important, isn't it? And you have to really prepare right now. You have to prepare. Hi, Miles. He agrees with me. My grandson agrees with me. Thank you. So you really have to prepare yourself in these 4 years while you're studying for the next 90 years. So I can't emphasize, you know, more than, you know, you need education, yes, but you do need a lot of things outside your textbooks. You're going to know about interior design. My daughter's an interior designer. You're going to know about classical music, art, you know, painting, technology, obviously, and a whole new basket of things that, you know, we Asians don't really think they're important. Your mom and dad always tell you, study hard, get that job, be a doctor, right? Be an accountant. The reason is because, you know, you make good money. I'm sorry, you know, this is not what I want you to do, okay? If your mom want to argue with me, bring him on. We're happy to talk to you. Now, right now, I want to have a little light moment with you guys. Because, you know, a very good friend of mine, and the reason we're sitting here tonight, Barclays is our sponsor this year, right? As you know, is all because of Kevin Ho. Kevin? Thank you. And Kevin is going to sing you guys a song. And he plays along his ukulele. Oh, he's prepared, isn't it?
This is totally impromptu. There's a crazy conversation between Phil and I this at 4 o'clock, right, this afternoon. He came in and said, oh, I think we should play ukulele. And we want to get a cup of coffee, and there was a little speaker there and said, oh, Phil, you know, without a speaker I can't play. And he said, no, yes, you can. So he set me up, and he came out here, and we tested the mic, and so I learned 2 things today. And thanks to Justin. First is, you can be crazy, even if you're not a genius. Okay? Second is, when you're really nervous, you smile. Before I start, can I have a question, a show of hands? Did anybody do any grocery shopping before they came in today? No? So no tomatoes, eggs? Carrots, a little bit. If you do have some, please resist the need to do that. When we get outside, you can give it to me and I can cook them for you. So, he goes a little tune. My life is brilliant, my love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man, but I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I've got you. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, it's true. I saw your face in the crowded place, and I don't know what to do, 'cause I'll never be with you. time to face the truth, 'cause I'll never be with you. So you have the unfortunate privilege of seeing me perform live first time in my life. I was nervous as hell. You thought interview was bad? Try this. Thank you.